this is Chris the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mr. Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So I just want to talk about 25 heavyweight prospects that I'm going to keep an eye on this year. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they are the top 25 prospects in the world, but just for me, because a lot of people ask me this all the time: who are some of the top prospects to keep an eye on? Some of the guys that didn't make my list for the 25, but I still think they're prospects worth keeping an eye on. And if you have these dudes in your, top 10 or 15, I can completely understand. But I'm just going to go over my list, all right? Now, some of the guys that are notable guys that didn't make my list is Otto Weiland. He's still worth checking out. Swedish prospect. Otto Weiland. Tyrone Spong is another one. Nick Asbury suffered his first defeat. He lost to Malcolm Tan. He was in that Tyson Fury camp when Fury was getting ready for that first Vladimir Klitschko fight. I heard good things about Nick. Watched him fight a few times on YouTube. He didn't make my list, but he's, I want to see him bounce back or see how he bounced back. The Polish kid from Chicago, Nick Mazurek, very young. I like what I see. So just one more year under his belt, then maybe going into next year, I can, he may be on the list for next year for me. Now, some of you may have him in your top 25, like I said, that's fine. But he just missed the list, but he is definitely worth keeping an eye on, though. Matteo Madungdo out of Italy. I want to, I know he has an undefeated record. Last I checked, he did. I want to see what's going to happen with him. He's somebody I'm going to keep an eye on. I watched him in the World Series of Boxing. Want to see what's up with him. Shawn Turner is another one. I know he was trying to get a fight with somebody that I do have on my 25. But Shawn Turner's, Khan Sheehan, but Shawn Turner's somebody I want to see. He didn't make my list, but I have him as a notable guy. Robert Afonso, the Cuban fighter, beat Oscar Revis in the amateurs. Who did he lose to in the Olympics? I think he lost to Glaskov, Lazar Glaskov in the Olympics. I know he was in Deontay Wilder's training camps and Eric Molina's training camps. Willis Meehan, the son of Cali Meehan, he didn't make the list, but he is somebody that just missed the list, but I want to see what's going on with him. It seems like he has heavy hands, big, strong, young, powerful kid. Plus, he has the bloodline. Daniel Dubois, he just signed pro contract, hasn't fought yet, but he is somebody else that, although he didn't make my list, he is somebody else that is least notable, all right? Now, here's my 25, and it's not in any particular order. This is just pretty much me going by just the eye test of what I see, the activity, the age, the skill, the ability, their ceiling, amateur experience, just from what I see, just from watching these guys. Now, before I get to the list, I don't have guys like Trevor Bryan on the list. Some of you may still consider Trevor Bryan a prospect. I just don't have him on the list. I just don't consider him. To me, he, doesn't have a lot of fights. I think he's like 17-0 or something, 18-0, somewhere around there. Some of you may consider him a prospect still. I don't consider him a top tier contender, but I think he isn't I think he's like a fighter where, from seeing if he's a contender yet. You know what I mean? So I think he's right there. I know he's rated by one of the sanctioning bodies. But I don't have him as a prospect. If some of you guys do, that's fair enough. But I'm talking about the next wave of guys that nobody ever hears about and guys on the come up. Guys like Dominic Brazil, I don't consider a prospect. Jarrell Miller, I don't consider him a prospect. I mean, he's about to shit. I think Eddie Hearn's trying to get him to fight Luis Ortiz. Some of you may consider him a prospect, but I don't have him on that list yet, or I don't have him on that list anymore. Gerald Washington's getting ready to fight Deontay Wilder. I don't consider him a prospect. Dillian White, and of course, I don't consider Joshua and Parker, Huey Fury. I don't consider the guys prospects no more. If you guys do, that's fair enough. But here's my list, all right? Adrian Granat, he's on the list. Big, tall fighter with range, can use his jab. He's been in Klitschko camps, Povetkin camps. I've heard nothing but great things about Adrian Granat. Undefeated guy. He's getting ready to fight Alexander Dimitrenko. I believe that fight is in March. I believe it's in March, but he's getting ready to fight Dimitrenko. Swedish heavyweight, good right hand, good jab. All right, I got him on the list. Cassius Cheney, American kid. He's about 6'6", 240 pounds, somewhere around there. Heard nothing but great things about him. He's also undefeated. I think he's 8 or 9-0, 8-0 or 9-0, one of the two. I forget. I don't have it in front of me, but seem to have good balance. he's a kid that's coming over from basketball, or he's a grown man that's coming over from basketball into boxing. But I've heard nothing but great things from all the camps he's been in. Eric Molina's trainers told me nothing but great things about him. He was also a part of that Tyson Fury camp when he was getting Fury ready for Vladimir Klitschko that first time around. He was in the same camp with Hughie Fury and Nick Asbury. Heard nothing but great things about Cheney out there. Vladimir Klitschko wanted Cheney for the rematch with Fury, and Fury wanted him too. So obviously these fighters want him in their camp. So I like Cheney. And just, again, looking at his skills and ability, I think he's somebody worth keeping an eye on. Junior Fa out of New Zealand. He went 2-2 with Joseph Parker in the amateurs. He's undefeated, 9-0. He's going to make his not his pro debut, but his USA debut on the Wilder versus Washington undercard. Just signed with Lou DiBella. I want to see what this Kiwi kid, or I keep calling these dudes kids because a lot of these dudes are like 10, 11 years younger than me, man. But I want to see what he can do. Now that he signed with DiBella, he's going to get tougher fights. So Junior Fa is somebody that I'm keeping an eye on. Darmani Rock, he was supposed to be our guy to go to the Olympics for us. When I say our guy, I mean American. He was supposed to make the Olympic team, but he ended up losing to Marlo Moore in the Olympic. What did he lose? What tournament did he lose to him in? Was it the qualifiers? No, he lost to him in the Olympic trials. He beat him in the one of the national tournaments. He beat Marlo Moore, then he got knocked out in the Olympic trials. So Darmani Rock, signed with Rock Nation. He's undefeated right now. Very young kid, very young. You know what I mean? So I want to see how he develops. I think he's somebody worth keeping an eye on. He was a really good amateur. Alexander Teslenko, the Ukrainian kid, but he's up in Canada right now. He moved his professional career to Canada, had over 200 something wins in the amateurs, only a handful of losses. I like his style. Has that Eastern Bloc type of style going on at heavyweight. Some people think he could probably make cruiserweight too, but I definitely want to see what Alexander Teslenko does this year. Trey Libby Morrison, the son of Tommy Morrison, has the bloodline. He just suffered a cut, man. He was set to fight Daniel Martz on Showbox Next Generation, but he suffered a cut. I just did a video about that a few days ago. He should be back in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and hopefully he gets another televised card. But I definitely want to see what happens with Trey Libby Morrison. I know a lot of people think he's limited. They think he doesn't have a high ceiling. He got heavy hands, you know what I mean? And if he can have a chin to go with it, I know it's the land of the giants out there with these new heavyweights, but I just want to see how far he goes, man. I think he's somebody worth keeping an eye on, and he's getting these televised cards. So I just want to see how far he goes. Tony Yoka won the gold medal in the last Olympics here. I've seen Tony Yoka. I've seen him fight some of the best in the amateurs, international, some of the best, man. Joseph Joyce and Philippe Herkovic, and the list goes on and on, man. I've seen him fight some of the best. Ivan Daichko, you know what I mean? So I want to see him. Khan Sheehan, he just, now he's with the Fury camp. He's training with Peter Fury. He was with Virgil Hunter for a while when he made his pro debut. And I know he's out there in the Bay Area working with Virgil, and then he switched over to the Fury camp. So I think he probably wanted to be closer to home. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I want to see what Khan Sheehan does. Has size, has good hand speed, good amateur background. And now, he went from Hunter, now he's with Fury in those guys. He's learning. He has to be learning. That's too much, knowledge going around for him not to pick up on things, man. So I want to see what Khan Sheehan does this year. Iju Agano. Now, after this fight with Brazil, I won't consider him a prospect anymore, but until that fight happens, Iju Agano is getting ready to fight Dominic Brazil, so we're going to see what happens in that fight. Agano, good jab, good hand speed. We know he works with Kevin Berry. And he's been out there getting, work with Joseph Parker for the last few years or whatever, or however long they've been working. I'm not sure the exact time, but Iju Agano, we're going to see what he has when he steps up with Dominic Brazil on February 25th. Laron Mitchell, tough guy, man. Was a good amateur, older guy, but undefeated record, has good power in each hands. I want to see what he does this year, man. I want to see if they, give him a big fight, quote unquote, like a big fight, and see what he does. Because, the clock is ticking. He's not I won't consider him a old man, but he isn't, 25 or 24 years old. But I definitely want to see what he would look like in a step up type of fight. But I definitely want to see what Laron does this year, though, man. Ajay Kabayel, he just won the EBU title. He picked it up against, who did he just beat, man? Just watched the fight yesterday. Slipping my mind already. Who did Kabayel beat? Hervé Hubo. He beat him yesterday. I want to see what Kabayel has, man. I think he seems pretty durable. He's still young. A lot of these dudes are really young. They're like, I think Kabayel's like 24 years old. I don't, yeah, from what I remember, he didn't have an extensive amateur background, so he's kind of learning on the fly. And to be learning on the fly, he's doing a damn decent job, in my opinion. German prospect. So I want to see how much further he goes and who they're going to have him defend that EBU title against. All right, next on the list, Oscar Revis. I believe Oscar is like 20-0 right now. Every time he's going to have a big fight scheduled, he always fails an eye exam, and it's always here in America. So he had the fight with Gerald Washington. That fight got canceled. He failed the eye exam. Then he had a fight with Amir Mansour, which I would have loved to see. I would have loved to see that fight. Failed the eye exam, you know what I mean? So, but he is getting fights up there in Canada, so hopefully somebody will go up there and fight him, or maybe he can fight some of the other guys from Canada that I'm going to name, or already named one of the guys, Alexander Teslenko. That'd be a good fight. They're both up in Canada. Sooner or later, that can be a good fight if Revis can't get licensed anywhere else. You know what I mean? Simon King was an Olympian. He's another guy from Canada. He just picked up a victory over this is gonna slip my mind, man. I hate doing videos on the fly because I forget sometimes. Avery Gibson. That's who he fought. And Gibson is a tricky guy to fight. Comes in shape. Fought in the World Series of Boxing. I know he sparred Deontay Wilder like 1,000,000 rounds. I know he sparred Deontay Wilder a lot. I know he sparred Gerald Washington and Brazil and all those guys. He gets good work in, you know what I mean? And Gibson is a very tough guy to fight, especially for a prospect. But King got it done. Big, strong dude. Want to see what he does this year. He fights out of Canada. Zhang Ji Li was an Olympian. I remember Eddie Hearn talking about, this was like months ago, like in the summer. You guys can look this up, if and see it for yourself. But I remember Eddie Hearn was talking about Anthony Joshua possibly fighting Zhang Ji Li to try to expand Anthony Joshua's name around the world. And Ji Li was a name that he brought up. But I want to see what Zhang Ji Li does, man. I've seen him fight a few times here. He's in the U.S. So I want to see what he does this year. Nathan Gorman, the Ricky Hatton protege, another young kid. Good hand speed. Like to go to the body. You can tell Ricky's working on him with that left hook to the body. He has a fight coming up. Then there's another fight that he wants to take. Was it Akinlandi he's supposed to fight? I forget, man. But Nathan Gorman's another kid. Stephannie Shaw, big shot. Right now he's in the Deontay Wilder camp. And for what I'm hearing, at least on that the Boxing Voice video, he is giving Deontay Wilder, or at least that day. I'm not sure for the entire camp, so I don't want to disrespect the other sparring partners that are out there. But at least that day, in that interview on the Boxing Voice, they made it seem as if Stephannie Shaw is giving him the best work right now. Shaw's from St. Louis. I've done a few of his post-fight videos on his fights and did a prospect watch video on him. All these guys I've done prospect watch videos on, even the guys that didn't make my 25. All right, but Stephannie Shaw, light on his feet. Good hand speed, nice jab. I like what I see. Want to see more of him. Okay, Jermaine Franklin, the kid from Michigan, he's a shorter heavyweight, but he has good skills. Can use his jab. I've seen him perform really well on the U.S. national amateur scene here. He's undefeated right now. Good technical skills for a smaller heavyweight, man. So I like Jermaine Franklin. Want to see more of him. Sergey Kuzmin, come forward pressure fighter from Russia. I want to see more of Sergey this year. I like his style. Seen him fight in the World Series of Boxing. I think he's tough. Think he's durable. Want to see him matched up this year and see how far he goes. George the Gentleman Arias, Dominican kid from the Bronx, the BX. I want to see. I haven't heard nothing from George, man. I was trying to, see about him, see when he has a fight schedule. I didn't see anything, but I want to, I think he has a nice, exciting type of style. likes to bob and weave and come forward, kind of fight out of that Mike Tyson, Joe Frazier-esque type of style. I'm not saying he's those guys, but he fights out of that style. And I think he's exciting. You know what I mean? We got the land of the Giants, man. So it's always good to have smaller guys around trying to compete and try to beat these dudes. You know what I mean? So I want to see more George, man. Tom Schwartz and Michele Wallace, both, you can put them in the category with Ajay Kabiel, prospects from Germany. I want to see both those guys. The last I checked, they were both rated. I forget which sanctioned body they were rated in, but last I seen, both those guys were rated. Want to see more of them. Bandang Dinu is another guy. He had the fight scheduled with Adrian Granat, but then he pulled out to fight Rafael Tranche. Then that fight didn't go through, so I'm not sure what's up with Bandang Dinu. From what I did see of him, I like what I saw. Tall, heavyweight with a good jab and a good right hand. Good international amateur experience. But I don't know what's up with him right now. Gregory Corbin, another fighter from the U.S., undefeated right now. He was a good amateur back in the day, and then he had to, took a little time off. He came back still undefeated. He was very busy last year. I think he fought like 5 or 6 times last year. Already fought this year. Right now, he is in the Deontay Wilder training camp. I've seen the boxing voice video, seen him there. They did an interview with him. He's getting good work in with Deontay Wilder right now. Man, he's down in that area. He's from Dallas, man. So I was thinking the other day, like, man, Trey Libby Morrison's from Oklahoma. Maybe they can make that fight down there. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a good one. Adam Konaski, the Polish kid from New York, heard good things about him. Now, when you look at his physique and you look at him, you might not think much, but he does come forward. He just beat Joshua Tufte. He likes to come forward, likes to go to the body. He likes to bang. And with him liking to bang like that, some people may think his ceiling might not be as high because, now you're just, you're going in there against big, heavy hitters. And now it's just going to come down to, can your chin withhold and can you hurt them before they hurt you? But I do like his style, his come forward style, man. And I would like to see him matched up with some of these other prospects. But I like to see what Konaski does. I know he is a Heyman fighter. He's part of the PBC. So I like to see what he does this year. Nick Webb is another guy from the UK that I want to see. He just had another, I believe it was a quick knockout he just had the other month or the other week here. I seen him training. I believe he was training with David Hay when I first seen him. I could be mistaken. But I want to see what Nick Webb. He's another big, strong dude with a good right hand. So I want to see what he does this year. I know he likes to stay in shape. And that's 25. But let me add one more because I said his name in this and I forgot to add him. It's hard getting all these prospects together, man, because I've covered about damn near 80 of them. You know what I mean? Since I've had this channel up. But there's one guy, so I guess it'd be 26. And that's Ivan Deichko. He just signed a pro contract. I forget the exact name of the promoter he signed with, but I put up a video about it. He was a really good amateur, man. Just took home the bronze. He has 2 bronze medals. You know what I mean? And he's fought some of everybody in the amateur ranks. Big, tall guy, 6'9". You know what I mean? I know he spars some really good pros, the Klitschko's, and he's been all around, man. So 2 bronze medals. I want to see what he does this year. You know what I mean? I want to see if they go the fast route with him because he has the amateur experience. Do they try to move him up fast and have him fighting 10 rounders within his first, 3 or 4 fights? Or are they going to take it slowly with him? I want to see what they do with Ivan Deichko, man. But those are my 26. It was supposed to be 25, but that's my 26 prospects I'm going to keep an eye on. Now, the other guys that I named that didn't make the list doesn't mean I'm not going to keep an eye on them, but these are the first 26 that come to mind for me. You know what I mean? But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. And who is your 25 or 26 or top 10 or however you want to do it, prospects that you're going to keep an eye on this year. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.